Hello everyone and welcome to Let's Talk. My name is Christan Bowman and today's topic will be mental health, but more specifically the stigma behind it. I have with me today 3 students from Winston-Salem State. If you all could please introduce yourself and what class you're in.
My name is Jarrell and I am a junior.
My name is Jessica and I'm a junior.
And my name is Thaisha Lewis and I'm a junior as well.
The American Psychology Association states that anxiety is the top presenting concern among college students at 41.6%, depression at 36.4%, and relationship problems at 35.8%. So my question for you guys is, if there's such a high percentage of students with mental health issues, why does no one want to talk about it, or why is it such a big thing to keep quiet?
I can start off. I just know it's been a big thing in the Black community about mental health and how we're always told to just pray about it, or, just to keep it under, it's not real. Just like, you're fine, you'll be okay, we're just going to pray it off of you. But I think that it's becoming more known because I know of social media and things like that, this whole Black Lives Matter thing. So I think that it's embarrassing because it's not the norm, but as you can see from the statistics, it really is a norm. So a lot of people are dealing with it, but we have to make people comfortable with it. So I think that if we all make people comfortable around us with mental health, then we'll be more comfortable talking about it, right?
And outside of just it being from a race standpoint, just in general, I believe that it's more so of a pride thing, and more so than a pride thing, it's just like you just don't know who to confide in when you talk about these things. So rather than put your problems onto someone else, you just rather keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
Well, I think that it is sort of like a race thing, because I feel like Caucasian people are more likely to go and get help, maybe because they could afford it, or they know who to go to and who to confide in. With African American people, it's like, like as Jessica said, get over it, or, go pray about it, or either, be strong, or, they're scared to talk to anybody about it because they'll be viewed as this crazy person, or this person that, is just not right, so like people would fear to be around them, or say, call them crazy, so it would stop them from being honest about what they feel.
You just have to be more open to receiving help and understanding that seeking help does not mean you're crazy, but if you need help, and to understand that that's okay too, because we can't do it alone.
Okay, well, do y'all know anyone who has or is currently suffering with mental health, and do you think they would feel comfortable coming to you talking about it?
Yeah, I know. Actually, my brother suffers with mental health in some ways. My mother had him get evaluated when he was younger, and he did have ADHD and was bipolar, and my mom chose not to put him on medicine. And now that he's older, my mother tells him to go get help, but he refuses to, and he kind of shows the traits of a bipolar person. And it's not just necessarily being sad one second and just, being mad. There's different levels of it, and we didn't know that. So now seeing him go through what he's going through and not being medicated is just like serious, So that's one person that's dealing with it. And then my sisters, well, I call her my sister because that's my brother's baby mother. So she just was murdered by her ex-boyfriend, I guess you could call him, because he had mental issues that he dealt with over time, and she didn't understand how serious they were, and he murdered her. So that's just how serious things could get, and how fast, things can escalate very fastly if you're not, aware, and if you're not taking care of your mental.
Yeah, and it affects more than just that person.
Yeah.
And I'll take it from what you said and make it more relevant to what's going on right now. I forgot his last name, but there's one guy from Ohio named Steve.
Stevens.
And he was going through some situations with his spouse, his female counterpart, and he went on like a rampage of killing people. And a lot of people are just like, oh, he needs to be killed, he needs to do this, and he needs to do that. I too feel the same way in some aspect. However, I really just care to know like the deeper aspect. Like, it's deeper than just a relationship, and we can't ignore that part. Not to say that what he's doing is not wrong, because it is, but now it's more so like, well, why is he doing it? And we need to understand why.
Just to go back to like our personal experience, So my father has PTSD. My uncle is schizophrenic. My cousin has bipolar disease. So it's really in my family. So with my father being a Vietnam veteran and PTSD brings on anxiety for myself, so that I have anxiety. So I mean, I think the statistics really were right. I mean, it's a lot of people that I know with mental health, and we really need to start talking about it.
Especially here on college, like classes, work, social life, it causes a lot of anxiety.
Right.
Yes.
And
Exactly.
people don't take it seriously. I feel like even with myself, people look at me and say, well, you're in school, so you're not going through anything.
Yeah.
You don't understand
Yes.
what's going on in the real world. And it's like,
Exactly.
I still have a family. I still have a mom. She still tells me what's going on back at home. I'm still suffering. Like, I'm losing friends that's at
Yes.
home right now. Like, so, like, to death. So, I feel like I'm going through some things as well. So.
Same here. Same.
Okay, we're going to have a quick commercial break, so stick around and we'll be right back. We're going to talk a little bit about television and mental health. Hello, once again, we are back with Let's Talk, and today we are discussing mental health. So let me take a quick survey. Have any of you seen the new Netflix show, 13 Reasons Why?
Yes.
Okay. The reason I ask is because it has kind of been a hot topic in the media, how they actually showed two of the high school girls being raped and one of them actually committing suicide. And some people argue that they shouldn't have put those scenes in there, and other people are arguing that they need it. That way people can understand the seriousness of the situation. So what do y'all think? Do y'all think it should have been shown or not shown?
I think not talking about it is not going to solve an issue, and that's with any issue there is. And I think that's what's wrong with society. We feel like if we don't talk about it, no matter if it's race, suicide, anything of that nature, if we don't talk about it, it's not happening or it's not true. But the moment we talk about it, it's like, oh, you talked about it.
Yeah, it's shocking.
Yeah. I definitely think they should show it, and the fact that it's on Netflix is good because of like censoring stuff on TV. So definitely, like Jarrell just said, if we don't talk about it, who is going to talk about it? You know, at their funeral, or we talk about how they killed themselves because of rape or bullying, stuff like that. So don't make it too late. Talk about it now while they're still here.
I definitely agree with that. I don't feel like you should wait until something bad happens to talk about these issues. It should definitely be talked about while they're still alive so that it could be fixed so that they could live their life. These things shouldn't be hidden. Like when it comes to these movies where there are college students and a female is raped on campus, people feel like, oh no, you shouldn't talk about campus rape, you know? But it should definitely be talked about because people hide those things. Females feel like if they come out and say something, then they're going to be viewed as this specific type of girl. So with these high school students watching this movie, I'm pretty sure, like a lot of people opened up and was like, these things has happened to me if they have, or, this guy was kind of inappropriate with me. It makes them feel a little bit more open to telling the truth about what's going on behind closed doors.
Yeah, they can see what had happened to this girl, and maybe they don't want that to be their life. Like they can reach out and get some help.
Yeah.
Yes.
Another question I was going to ask, Jessica kind of touched upon it. Is it different being on Netflix versus being on cable? Like if you were watching just regular cable television, they wouldn't show something like that versus Netflix where they have more freedom.
Yeah.
I think that with Netflix, they do have a lot more freedom. And being as though it's on Netflix, it shouldn't be a discussion on should they have shown it. It's not like it's on regular television, and they show violence in media every day. Like, for example, Steven Steffens, he shot an old man on Facebook Live. Imagine how many children or young people saw that, and that was live and that was real. So for this to be fiction, it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Like we see a lot more, especially if you live in a city or even, you know, like the country. There's things that happen that people see every day that's like, that's life changing. You know, that's dramatic. They're not dramatic, but traumatic. So these things should definitely be shown.
Right. And I think Netflix was a great way to show it. Because the demographics of Netflix. Most of the people who have Netflix are college students and people are peers and things of that nature. So you're reaching the audience that it deserves to be toward, you know? More so with cable, we're not still enough to sit and watch cable TV.
with the commercials.
With commercials. Also, like with this, I know some people were complaining about the show because it kind of blames the outside person for the mental illness, but like for the bullying and things like that, they were blaming the person that was making them feel that way. Which I kind of see what they were talking about in this show. So I just want to ask the panel about that. Like, do you think that they're wrong for blaming the people?
I feel like they are, because I feel like if a person is suicidal, once they decide to commit suicide, nobody or nothing is going to make them feel otherwise. Just like if a person is about to jump off of a building, people say like you could talk them down. But in some ways, if they've already decided that in their head, they're going to do it, whether you're talking to them or not.
Well, I'm going to disagree just a little bit with you saying they were blaming them. I know, and the show is also called 13 Reasons Why, but I just think they're bringing awareness about how you could possibly lead to someone committing suicide. So it's just like you have to be aware of what you do or what you say to people because you just
and
never
it's the
know.
little things.
So I don't think that was necessarily blaming them, but it was just more so calling awareness to like how you possibly could lead someone to making a decision like that.
Right.
My next question is, would you let your children in the future or your baby brother, sister, cousin, niece, nephew watch a show like this? Like, would you want them to see this?
Yeah, I feel like I would. It depends on their age.
Yes.
Because I don't want them to like watch it and then like overanalyze every situation. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes when a child is shown too many things, they kind of, you know, I don't want them to run with something and think that everything that happened in the movies happening to them. I
Like
want them to
playing
get
video
confused.
games. I don't let my nephew play certain video games for that reason alone.
Yeah.
They're just not able to
Grasp
make it fiction in their mind. It's just everything's real. So
Yeah, I remember the whole Columbine thing. They were saying the music they listened to, the games they were playing, that affected.
Man.
Yeah, but ultimately it came down to they had made that decision, they made that choice.
it's not them. It's the mental health. Mental health is like a beast. It's not them.
And until it's treated, you know.
Well, that's going to be all today. Thank you for watching. Thank you to my guests. Have a good day.